Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's really my honor today to join e-PICESS International Conference on Education and Social Sciences 2021. My name is Ma Rui. I come from China, and I'm a PhD first-year student in School of Educational Studies in University Science, Malaysia. In today's presentation, I'd like to show you the COVID-19 pandemic challenges for undergraduate international students in Hunan Institute of Science and Technology in a flipped classroom environment. In my research, there are 4 parts. Now, let's get started by looking at the background of study. In the past 2 decades, with the rapid development and progress of science and technology, China's higher education has undergone great changes. As part of the changes, flipped classrooms were introduced in China in 2011. Such teaching methods require students to complete the self-learning of basic knowledge before class, leaving class time for face-to-face communication between teachers and students. With the continuous advancement of China's Silk Road economic belt and the 21st Century Maritime Silk Road Initiative, the number of international students in China have continuously increased. Quality problems have gradually emerged in the education of international students. Flipped classrooms are popular and widely used for the teaching of international students in China. Since the end of 2019 to the beginning of 2020, a new generation of coronavirus began to spread globally. Teachers are being given only weeks to put their courses online due to the closing of schools and institutions, despite their lack of online experience and assistance. The COVID-19 pandemic has reinforced the need for rapid thinking of learning and teaching, and particularly the role of flipped classroom from blended to fully online settings. The combination of flipped classroom and MOOC provides great convenience and efficiency for both teachers and students. Considering the sudden transition from blended teaching to online teaching and the closure of campuses during the coronavirus crisis, problems related to the adoption of online teaching have emerged. Here comes our research question. How do undergraduate international students cope with the challenges of a flipped classroom during COVID-19 pandemic? In respect to international students' experiences of the flipped classroom, the study emphasizes the significance of adjusting learning settings and stressing factors. Given the study's exploratory nature, interviews was selected as the data collection method. We chose 20 undergraduate international students at Hunan Institute of Science and Technology, where online flipped classrooms were used during COVID-19. International students all came from Asian countries. We have 8 students in Mongolia, 7 students in Thailand, 4 students in Korea, and 1 student from Malaysia. After the interview with the 20 international students, we have 4 findings. Number 1, language issues in the flipped classroom. From the perspective of classroom communication, some foreign students who are good at Chinese can participate in classroom interaction, and a few foreign students who are not good at Chinese are not active in the classroom. According to a student in Thailand, she said, "It is difficult to understand the teacher's Chinese lecture, and some knowledge is difficult to understand quickly." Number 2, autonomous learning in the flipped classroom. From the perspective of pre-class study, Some international students have poor self-control ability and lack of self-learning ability. The third finding is technology in software use. After the emergence of the COVID-19, many universities in China began to combine flipped classroom with MOOC software. The resources of Chinese university MOOC can better match the courses of Chinese universities. But due to the most developers and users are in China, international students stayed abroad encountered certain difficulties in use. One student in Malaysia said, "We have not been back to campus for more than a year, and my Chinese mobile phone number has been shut down. I want to re-register the learning software account with my mobile phone in Malaysia, but I find it difficult to do so." And the last finding is the role of assessment. From the perspective of after-class assessment, most international students have the need to gain scholarship. Their performance can be taken into account both inside and outside the classroom, both online and offline. Differences, especially the enthusiasm, cooperation, and inquiry of students, can also be reasonably evaluated. Based on these findings, the research comes to a conclusion. The teachers are required to interact with students at different levels. The teaching content should be attractive and inspire students to think. The teacher should provide enough help and guidance for the international students. To consider comprehensively in the evaluation mechanism of student learning. Thank you for your listening. Please feel free to contact me.